I love about what you've done is when I taste some of your teas, I think, oh, this is so cool. This is what I wanted to find in tea, but I didn't know was available.
It was about 18 years ago. My background was psychology and hypnotherapy. Had a hard time making a living, and I've always been into the rare and unusual in terms of ingredients. And at an early age, just fell in love with the whole aspect of tea and all the accoutrements.
So I was listening to like Hendrix when I was like 8, and you were what?
Yeah.
In the kitchen with the tea.
I was at least thinking about it or looking around.
Our tea prices are a little higher, so people have a hard time understanding, well, I'm getting a cup of green tea, why is this higher? It's hard to explain to them. It's similar to going into a better restaurant. It's like, you know, if you're going to go to a gourmet place and get a gourmet burger, it's not going to be the same as what you get at a fast food joint. So we're not a fast food tea place. We are basically the gourmet version of tea. And because we're not a chain, and because you're your own entrepreneur, we have great freedom here in the creative process of what you're creating and then what we're able to bring to the customers. So it's fantastic. It's really the best thing I could have hoped to have happen.
The large difference between a lot of the actual loose teas as opposed to a tea bag is that some of the finest varietals in the world, there's no way those particular sized leaves could actually be funneled into a tea bagging machine. Most places are hiding their tea leaves behind a teapot, and no one really wants you to see that, you know, really low grade tea leaf. When you see tea brewing, it's really just almost like a meditation in itself.
You know, we do get a lot of people in here that like coffee, and so to them tea is less caffeine. I said, no, wait till you try this. And everybody I turn this tea on to loves it. So tell me what you got in this rocket fuel here.
I was tasting teas, and we tasted about 180 to 200 teas that day. 2 sips of this particular herb, and when I drank it, I had a heart palpitation. And the guy at the table I thought was going to have a nervous breakdown. He sees me just like out of nowhere. I'm like animated. I'm like, oh my, and I'm feeling my heart. And he's like, this is it. The company's going down. And I've never been more excited.
And so this is the first time I've drank caffeine with any kind of regularity for a very long time, because you can drink this, it's a very beautiful tea, but then coming off it, you don't get that sort of caffeine crash where you feel kind of edgy and irritable. So whatever's in there is money for me. When I have people over to, say, my house, and I'll serve them an oak barrel tea that you've made, they're sort of surprised by the sort of musky flavor. And I was never one that liked, say, whiskey or something like that, but there's something about that kind of musky quality in a tea that's very, very attractive. And I had never tasted that before, so can you talk about that too?
You know, it all came from the fact that I started, you know, early on we became obsessed with jasmine-scented varietals. And I said, if they can scent green tea leaves that are dried with a flower that is blooming, then we can scent tea with anything. How traditionally I was taught to age was you would ship in the master case of tea, and it would be in wood particle board, and you'd leave it in your warehouse for a year or so, and then pull off the top and, you know, harvest it. But what I started realizing is particle board has an aroma of itself, and it's not something I necessarily want to be around. So we said, how can we take it to the next level and allow it to age without picking up the wrong nuances? And for this particular, you know, tea, we chose to, you know, take pristine, you know, California oak barrels that have just really almost a neutral or just a really elegant scent to them, and age the tea in there, and it just became night and day.